Nuka World is a magical place of fun and adventure, where families can enjoy fun rides, exciting attractions, and drink Nuka Cola. At least, that was the case before the bombs dropped. These days, Nuka World is a dangerous place filled with mutated creatures, robots, monsters, and bloodthirsty raiders hell-bent on taking the whole thing for themselves. This is Ricky. He's one of these raiders, but he's not just any raider. He's a smart raider, who managed to become the overboss of the raider gangs, who were busy doing nothing until he showed up. Now it's time for him to take control of Nuka World by clearing out the parks and claiming them as raider territories. But to be completely honest with you, that's easier said than done. So in this episode, watch as Ricky takes each of the 5 parks, overcoming the unique challenges each one presents. Spoiler alert, the answer is almost always violence. But before Ricky could start on his quest, Kate spoke up about something important to her.
We're friends now, which means I can trust you with anything. I'm sick. And I don't think I can hide it from you anymore. I've been using Psycho.
Can your psycho addiction be cured?
Normally a wasteland doc could handle it, but I've been using the stuff so damn long they can't help me anymore.
Now, Kate says that the only way she can cure her addiction is by going to an old vault filled with dangerous gunners. As if there isn't a medical item in the game called Addictol that says, quote, cures all addictions. I don't know what part of cures all addictions you don't understand, Kate, but until she figures it out, Ricky decided to just give her a bunch of the stuff and told her to hit the road.
Okay.
With that situation handled, Ricky and the boys can get back to business. The first stop on the grand tour was Kitty Kingdom, a place built to entertain young children with bright colors, performers, and mist sprayers filled with Nuka Cola. I honestly don't get what the idea was here. Like, why spray people with your product, right? Do you expect them to just stand there mouth open? More than likely, visitors are just gonna leave with sticky clothing. It just makes more sense to sell it by the bottle, whatever. If you haven't figured it out already, the park workers have all turned into feral ghouls, and those mist sprayers now spit out radioactive wastewater. This park sucks, and there's a guy over the loudspeaker taunting you, on top of the fact that you have to deal with radiation and ghouls. And seriously, what is this paint made of? These rotting corpses take so many bullets to go down, it's ridiculous. Like this one ghoul lost most of his limbs and half of his head, and he was still wiggling around. Anyway, this place has a fun house, which is not fun, and also not really a house. Look, I'm being really negative because I don't like this park. That's what we're getting out of the way first. Going into a tunnel, Ricky found the man behind the voice talking to one of the feral ghouls about some sort of cure before disappearing into a puff of smoke. Later, this glowing ghoul named Oswald the Outrageous appeared once more to monologue about how he was given a gift of real magic. Sorry to break it to you, man, but this thing you do where you resurrect the other ghouls is the thing all glowing ones do. You're not special. So Oswald attacked, but thankfully, Hancock suplexed him. The maniac magician then disappeared again. Side note, while checking the wiki, I found out that Oswald's actual last name is Oppenheimer. I'm not kidding. This guy is named Oswald Oppenheimer. Up on the roof, Oswald appeared once more.
You raiders are all the same. I'm not going to let you kill any more of my friends.
You realize your friends are feral ghouls, right?
They're not feral. They're sick.
Midway through this chat, Ricky realized he was slowly dying of radiation poisoning, so after healing up, he just asked Oswald to leave. There's no point in arguing anymore. Just leave.
Perhaps I would leave, but I made a promise to keep this place safe until my ritual finds the cure. My beloved left this place years ago to find a cure for this disease.
I promise you, there is no cure. You'd be better off trying to find us so you can be together.
You're wrong. There is a cure. There has to be. But maybe she needs my help.
He gives a sword that's kinda cool, but his magic top hat is what we really want, as it increases movement speed by 10%. Add that to the leg pieces Ricky bought earlier with the same effect, and it means he can move really fast. Anyway, Ricky raised the flag of the disciples, signaling that he had claimed the park for them. Since they seem to be the stab you while you sleep type, Ricky decided it would be best to get on their good side as soon as possible. Upon returning to the park later, Ricky saw how the disciples had set up shop already, and they left some goodies for him as a thank you. So that's 1 park down, only 4 more to go. I don't really know how else to interject this, but back at base, Hancock said Goon Squad in one of his dialogues, and that is now the new name for Ricky's entourage, the Goon Squad. Next up is the World of Refreshment, a ride that once took guests down a river of Nuka Cola Quantum. However, Mirelurks have taken up residency in the time since the bombs, and have turned a glowing blue from exposure to the drink. Makes you question what will happen if you drink it, but I'm sure it's fine. The Nuka Cola Corporation would never do anything bad, right? Anyway, this place is boring and the Mirelurks are stupidly strong. Also, at one point, there were like 3 or 4 Assaultrons, but thankfully Ricky's goons dismantled them before Ricky could try to ask any of them out. After clearing the interior of the bottling plant, Ricky and the squad went outside to be greeted by more Nuka Lurks and the Nuka Lurk Queen. Quite possibly one of the strongest enemies in the entire game, with so much health, damage resistance, deadly attacks, and it's down. Oh. Yeah, the problem solver solves problems. After dealing with the rest of the cola crustaceans, Ricky climbed to the top of the plant and raised the flag of the operators, giving them their first park. So that's the bottling plant taken care of, and I like to go on a bit of a tangent here. This place seems like a huge missed opportunity to me, because this is a factory where they bottle Nuka-Cola. Shouldn't this place be full of caps? Or have a machine that produces caps? When you first meet the raiders, they say they took Nuka World because it was supposed to be some paradise for making caps, and I thought this meant there would be a huge cap stash hidden somewhere in the park, but no. Maybe Bethesda planned to have something like that, or they just never thought about it? I don't know. Anyway, check out this cool power armor you can get when you go back inside the plant. It's kind of funny, like, imagine going to Disney World and seeing a fully operational military tank with a Mickey Mouse logo painted on the side just there on display for visitors to see. Okay, intermission time. Ricky took a trip back to the Commonwealth to sell Jet, but as he was heading back, he saw a strange object fly across the sky and crash somewhere in the distance. Following it to an old forest, he found what was left of a crashed metal object of unknown origin. Ricky had never seen anything like it before. Could this be some sort of spaceship? There was a trail of some strange substance leading away from the crash site, leading to a nearby cave. Inside there was something moving. Something green. As Ricky approached, it attacked, though Ricky and his companions struck back. Upon closer inspection, it seemed almost certain that this was an alien invader, wielding a powerful energy weapon. So, yeah, aliens are real. Or they were. This one's dead now. Listen, all of you. We tell no one what we saw today. Back to Nuka World, and the next park on the list is Safari Adventure. As soon as Ricky and the gang approached, they were attacked by a gator claw, which is a death claw but an alligator, I think? Anyway, after taking it out, a shirtless man with a hammer ran at Ricky, talking like a caveman.
Monster. You friend?
You okay? Why are you talking like that?
Cito, sorry, Cito, not talk good. Monsters not stop. Help Cito stop monsters?
Maybe. Do you have any idea where they're coming from?
New friend, follow Cito.
Ricky followed Cito to the primate house and met his family of gorillas, and I was thinking there should be an interaction between Cito and Strong since they both talk the same way. Another missed opportunity, Todd. I guess Bethesda just ripped off Tarzan for the story of this park because it's literally about a kid raised by gorillas. Or am I thinking Jungle Book? I don't know. Anyway, you run around this old zoo and fight mutated gators until you find a key that leads into the big building where you find out some old scientist guy set up a cloning machine to keep making gator claws. Wait, why would an amusement park have a cloning machine? Anyway, Ricky took some Psycho Jet and then got addicted to Psycho while taking out the gators, and all of his companions judged him for it. Thankfully, he had some Addictol, which, I may remind you, cures all addictions. Looking at you, Kate. Ricky then made sure the gator claws went extinct, became friends with the Gorilla Man, and assigned the park to the pack because, come on, it just makes sense to give the zoo to the furries. And that's Park 3, folks. I don't have much else to add other than look at Gage T-posing, isn't that funny? Now on to Dry Rock Gulch, which is like an Old West style town, where there's a bunch of fun-sized dune sandworms all over the place. There's a bunch of cute protectrons with cowboy hats that want you to play along and act like a cowboy, but Ricky just doesn't have the time, so he uses his robotic knowledge to just skip past their mini quests. Also, he gave Gage a cowboy outfit because it just made sense to do so. This park is just really easy to clear, the bloodworms barely put up a fight, and there isn't much ground to cover, so yeah, Ricky assigned the park to the operators and moved on. But lastly, it's time to take the final park, the Galactic Zone. This park is actually cool because it has this futuristic aesthetic, and these cool robots. They all attack, but Ricky goes around and manually shuts them all down to avoid destroying them. You see, the Galactic Zone has a big computer in the middle that controls all the robots, and right now it's in a security lockdown because all the star cores are missing. Ricky needs to find enough to end the lockdown and make all the robots friendly again. You don't actually need to find all the cores to end the lockdown, but you do if you want to unlock the glass case containing the best power armor in the game, the Quantum Exo-1 power armor. Now, I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent again because I've already talked about how I find the Nuka-Cola T-51 a bit strange, but the general public was already familiar with that armor before the war. Exo-1 was a top secret military prototype. Why would the military ever want to put that on display? Sure, Quantum only came out the day the bombs dropped, so I assume this power armor came out like around the same time, but were they not worried about Chinese spies visiting the park and seeing this military prototype on display? whatever, sorry. This has just bugged me since the DLC came out, and whatever. I mean, I will say, though, it is a cool armor, and I like the design of it. So while I was ranting about that lore problem, Ricky was busy shutting down robots across the park in places like the Starlight Theater, which has a sentry bot for a bartender. Wait, why was a military robot serving drinks? Whatever, I already know the answer. As Ricky made his way through the park, he came to the Robco Battle Zone, which has two Novatrons guarding the outside, who apparently have the power to make the game crash. But after getting past them, he went outside to find that this attraction was once an arena, where visitors could watch robots fight. But upon stepping inside the arena, Ricky was locked inside and forced to fight the robots himself. And by fight, I of course mean shut them down and then force them to self-destruct. But after a bit more scavenging, Ricky found enough cores to end the lockdown, which meant he could now go around and turn all the robots back on without them attacking him. He assigned the park to the Disciples, and with that, all of the parks were cleared, and Nuka World had been conquered. Ricky talked to Gage to celebrate the success, and he said that they should now set their sights on the Commonwealth. Ricky liked this idea, but for some reason this dialogue with Gage causes reality to collapse and makes the game crash. But I'm no stranger to fault for crashing, so I figured it out. So it's finally time to take over the Commonwealth, settlement by settlement. And compared to taking the parks from high-level enemies, taking land from poor villagers will be easy. Ricky went to talk with Shank, the guy who manages all the comings and goings in Nuka World, and asked Ricky if he was ready to get started. Ricky said yes. Hancock hated this, and if he was going to have that reaction to just saying what he was about to do, Ricky figured it would probably be best to just let him go. He will be missed, but he's probably needed back at Goodneighbor by now anyway. I mean, he is the mayor after all. But Shank and Ricky coordinated their first operation, taking Nordhagen Beach, a beautiful piece of beachfront property, just asking to be claimed. All along the way, Ricky and the Goon Squad came upon some robot-on-robot violence, and put a stop to it before talking to a robot named Ada, who gave Ricky the plans to make a robot workbench in exchange for helping her take down the Mechanist. Ricky took the plans and Ada as a companion, yet moved her quest to the do later list. There were also some gunners guarding a bridge asking for a 2,000 cap toll. Ricky negotiated the price down to 500 and then just decided to shoot them all anyway. Ricky then came upon a place called Easy City Downs, where raiders bet on robots like horse races. Honestly, I think this is another missed opportunity by Bethesda. You should at least be able to bet on the races instead of just being forced to fight everyone. Upon making it to Nordhagen Beach, Ricky spoke to their leader.
Hey, something I can do for you?
I'm here for your land. You should leave while you can still walk.
Whoa, take it easy, alright? Look, can't just abandon this place, it's home.
You stay here another minute, and trust me, you're gonna regret it.
Christ, no need to do anything rash, alright? The land's yours.
Once the settlers were scared off, Ricky raised a flag to show that this area was now under control of the operators, and he got to work setting up some basic defenses and the necessities to get the outpost running. Arriving back in Nuka World, Ricky found out that someone was coming through the gauntlet, the same thing he survived before becoming overboss. To appease the raiders and earn a bit more respect, he made his way to the Kolokars arena to do battle with a fierce opponent. The fighter was someone named Sabat who was using a stealth boy to stay invisible, but as stated before, the problem solver solves problems. But upon returning to his new outpost, Ricky was met with some local raiders who weren't too happy about new gangs moving in on their territory.
One good reason I shouldn't slice you open and eat your heart right here.
You listen closely. This land is ours. So turn around and crawl back onto whatever rock you came from. Right now.
Whoa, easy. Take it easy, alright?
Intimidation wins the day once more, which meant that the way was clear for Ricky to start claiming more settlements. The funny thing about raider settlements is that raiders don't like farming, which makes sense, but the outposts still need food somehow. If only there was a way to get people to do work for you. Ah, of course! Just find a local farm and bully them into giving you all they produce.
Radio station. What can I do for you?
I'm here to make you an offer. This place will supply me and my friends in Nuka World caps, food, whatever you got. In exchange, we won't bother you.
Oh, I don't know. A lot of hard work goes into this place. Can't just give it to you.
Listen, you're going to start working for me now. Alright? Just keep the supplies coming, and we won't have any problems.
Fine. If it'll get you off my back. Now please, get the hell out of here.
And that, folks, is how you can get people to work for you. Ricky left the pack in charge of keeping the settlers in line to make sure they keep providing for the gangs. This farm will supply the outposts in the Commonwealth, which means Ricky can get to work claiming more. Along the way, Ricky made a stop at Long Neck Lukowski's Cannery, where a local entrepreneur has set up shop selling canned meat. There's a short quest here where you can investigate why the meat is making people sick, but Ricky's only here to grab a magazine and a bobblehead that both make vendor prices more favorable. After this, he claimed Kingsport Lighthouse, which is full of crazy radiation cultists. Seriously, these guys worship dangerous radiation. How are they not all dying of cancer? Anyway, to make the lighthouse have a light at the top, they locked a glowing one in there, which is a pretty cool idea, honestly. It's a shame you have to kill him to claim the settlement. But after setting up that outpost, Ricky wasted no time in setting up the next, by heading to Outpost Zamanja. Zamonja? How do you say that? I don't know. Anyway, there's a boomer here with a mini nuke launcher, but as long as the first shot is avoided, he's pretty easy to take out. But with a third outpost established, Ricky had secured a foothold in the Commonwealth. Heading back to Nuka World to celebrate his success and... what's this? The pack members seem to be attacking the other gangs. Have the furries finally gone feral? Ricky spoke with Shank to find out what was going on, and he said the pack had gone rogue, as they were upset with the way Ricky was dishing out territory. In hindsight, maybe giving them only one park and the job of babysitting some farmers while giving the other gangs way more was a bad idea, but, I mean, the pack members are just annoying, and they're mean. So, they had it coming. If they want to act like animals, they should be treated like animals. They made their stand at the Nuka World power plant, which Shank said he had some people working on restoring to order. Essentially, the pack members were holding it hostage. Ricky wouldn't stand for that, so he met up with the gang leaders who hadn't betrayed him to lead an attack on the power plant. Having Nisha and Mags Black in the same room seemed like a dream, but William was there too, and he's kind of a buzzkill.
The boss is here. Mason's gathered up his animal goons and took the power plant.
I can't leave this place for 5 minutes without everything going to hell. The four of them went over the plan, which is actually pretty simple. Kill Mason and the other pack members standing in the way. Ricky and the bosses made their way up to the precarious power plant to push pause on the pack's perplexing power play. Clearing this place is pretty straightforward, but inside is a full set of T-60 power armor, so that's pretty neat. But making his way up to the roof, it was time for the final confrontation with Mason. A big final battle to decide who will be the one to rule Nuka World. Mason, the pack's alpha, is a fierce warrior who was never known defeat and he's dead. Yeah, it's sort of ironic that he was killed with the very same gun he gave to Ricky as a gift. Maybe he should have held on to it. Anyway, Mason was carrying the keys to the power plant, which meant that there was only one thing left to do. Push the big red button. What you're about to see is the reason it's best to do this quest at night. One by one, the park's lit up with fireworks and electric glow. With Nuka World's power back online, the whole park is filled with lights, and some rides that were previously shut down can now be used, like the Nuka Galaxy, which honestly makes all the murder worth the effort just to ride this thing. And you get a Nuka Girl costume, which is pretty neat, but I don't think Ricky will be wearing it often. And with that, Ricky had officially become one of the most powerful individuals in the Wasteland. With 2 loyal raider gangs under his command, there was nothing he couldn't do. But don't think this is the end. No, this is just the beginning. Nuka World still has secrets to uncover, and the Commonwealth has plenty of settlements soon to be under the control of Ricky the Overboss. As a closing note, I'd like to thank you all who have watched this series up to this point. I've had a lot of fun working on it, and I hope I've entertained you along the way. It may be a while before another episode in this series comes out though. I have some other video ideas I'd like to try, and I also just don't want to burn myself out on the Ricky Raider series. So stay tuned, subscribe to stay updated, and also leave a comment. I love seeing your comments, so please leave more of them. If you watched all the way to the end, I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you all again soon.
So we're glad you dropped by. Come in, loosen up your tie. Have a drink or maybe just one more.
No lobster.